So it is officially preseason in our Nighthawks Relocation Fantasy Draft franchise, and we are taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. We also have the Browns and Broncos after that. Then we play the Saints, a team that obviously is super talented. So week one is going to be no joke. Of course, we do get to play at home. Last season, I believe it was 3 straight away games. So at least we get rewarded a little bit there for kind of showing up against the league office and saying, you know what, we aren't as bad as you think we are. We do have some upgrades, and we have some rookies starting. Of course, the right side of the line, pretty much all new. We do have Paul playing left guard and then Kendrick Green at center. So realistically, I mean, kind of everyone playing a new position. I know Kendrick Green has played center before, but played pretty much the entirety of last season as a guard. Tight end Turner, that is subject to probably change. As much as we love Turner, as much as he played well for us, he's a good route runner, but he just does not have the raw physical tools that his backup currently has in Woodley. Obviously, Turner's still not even that great of a catcher either. Really surprised us last season, but I mean, I'm going to assume by game 2, Woodley's just going to show that he is truly the best option at tight end, number 1. As far as wide receivers go, everyone is a star development trade player right now. Claypool, definitely some trade rumors there as he still has a lot of value. Might need a contract because he's on that 4th year. Of course, it's a fantasy, so I'm not really exactly sure how the contracts are structured. On paper, he's a great jump ball receiver. Just hasn't actually materialized as that, so he's going to be on a short leash, if you will. The rookie quarterback, Gamble, as much as Mond, he developed and he played with a really rough-looking roster, you just can't throw that many interceptions, especially when a team finds that there's a quarterback that's worth taking in the first round. And, of course, Curtis Gamble absolutely was worth that. As you can see, great accuracy ratings, pretty, based across the board. 92 throw power, insanely fast. I mean, you just can't beat that. Of course, the sense of pressure, hopefully if he gets better with reading the pass rush and getting the ball out quickly, you can upgrade that. Linebackers, Thaddeus Carmichael is going to get the start as the preseason begins, as Nizral Dean is already a lower overall, and he's 24, 25 years old. He's got potential, but once again, it's just taking him too long to develop. Defensive line, you have Maddox. A lot of potential, but a lot of normal devs, right? A lot of normal development trade players, and another block shedding type, which Jordan Davis is slowly developing into that pure pass rusher, but still, once again, more of a block shedder, but getting there. And then obviously Woolen, who got star dev, is the number 1 corner now, with the rookie Booker as the number 2. We don't know his development trait yet. Was he actually? The offensive lineman, but we're just going to assume these 2 guys are star. This guy's probably star. Could be superstar. I've seen it. And then Booker, there is a chance maybe he's a superstar. Of course, he looks a little old there, but, his actual face, young as hell. So that's all that matters. And, yeah, we've got that all settled. And really the only last thing to do before going to that preseason game is, in case you guys wanted to see our sliders, this is the difficulty. We have it on all Madden with simulation style. Trying to think if there's anything else in here that everyone can relocate, but nobody's relocating other than us, because people be broke, right? People be broke. XP sliders, as of right now, I bumped them slightly, but I think this is pretty good for right now. And then gameplay sliders, which, once again, that's the most to change, most subject to change if they're going to, as I think they're okay for now. I'm just trying to make it where we're not as good in coverage, because, yeah, we get beat on curls, but outside of that, we are probably better in coverage than we should be. But I like everything as is right now. I think everything's fun. Actually, I say that we're ready to go, but we actually have some upgrades. Javian Hawkins, the number 1 running back, not a really good upgrade, but of course his change of direction has gone up tremendously ever since being the starter. Of course, Tyndall, star development trait now with Field General. Now he is clear-cut the number 1 linebacker, as before he was kind of tied with some of the other players. 4 to awareness. Very good upgrade there. A lot of awareness-style stuff and just stuff to make him a better player. And then the last guy is technically Chris Paul. Tucker, I don't know, did he actually regress? We need Chris Paul to be a power blocker, so we're going to keep it up with that, and he will get an okay blocking upgrade for power. Tucker, did he regress is a good question. And I think he did. I thought he was 99 everything. Ooh, he did drop in kick power. I guess we'll go with power. Oh, he goes up 2 overalls. Don't tell me he got it back. Nah, he didn't, did he? Damn, that really helps me. All right, last year I think we proved that preseason doesn't just mean a whole lot, but the main thing that matters to us is just staying healthy. That's really the big issue, is we just do not want to have an injury, especially to somebody that's really important, you know, Hawkins or, you know, the quarterbacks, I suppose. I mean, you have 2 guys that are capable, but obviously the hype is all there for Gamble, as he could easily become the franchise quarterback around here. The cornerbacks, we do have a lot of depth, so if we lost someone there, Tariq Woolen would be a huge loss, but yeah, just mainly the offense. You know, we do have a little bit of depth on the offensive line, but if we lost a tackle, it wouldn't be that great because, you know, Ben Barch is sitting back up, but he's really just set to be an interior guy. But looking at the Bengals roster, you got Tannehill. I think you had Cooper Kupp, Danielle Hunter, Harrison Smith is still there, which probably not looking too great these days. Kind of just like a veteran presence if you're going to try to make a run. But obviously, Kellen Mond, I wonder what his thoughts are as, you know, he's right now the backup quarterback. He felt like he gave it his all, and considering the surrounding talent, the situation, kind of getting done dirty here, but you never know. Maybe someone else wants to give him a chance, offers us a trade. I mean, I'm not completely against it. I still wish him the best, but Gamble just seems like the better choice. But that's what we have preseason for. If Gamble just comes out sucking, Kellen Mond could win the job. Although I'll tell you what, if someone's sucking, they're probably getting pretty far in life. To the 20-yard line for Mr. Phillips. Take a quick look at Tannehill, see if they show his last year's ratings. I can't remember. I think he had an okay season, to be honest, and they will not, though, to show his overall, which that throw power is looking pretty rough. Maybe they be in the market for a little Kellen Mond action. Najee Harris, their starting running back, and he is going to get taken down pretty impressively by Caden Stearns. Once again, defensively, there's not a whole lot to argue against. I think maybe one of the linebacker spots you can argue, does the rookie actually deserve the job already? And then the slot corner role, we have Joseph, probably not Melifonwu, even though he filled in that spot last year and he was all right. And then Sean Wade could join back as the starter there. But realistically, we kind of have what we want on defense, we think. And Tyndall in a good spot, but an even better of a spot of a ball. That is a beauty for 15. Not really a whole lot you could do there on defense. That was actually kind of impressive. Tannehill still got a little bit of zip. I don't know where they're coming out with these lies. I mean, he's just throwing it in there, Cooper Kupp. The rookie going against him. I mean, there's not much you can do there. I mean, some of the best in the league aren't going to be able to cover him, but you got a rookie on him. Yeah, that's not going to go very well. As Jordan Davis up the middle gets the club move, falling right down on Ryan Tannehill. That is a big body. Watch out. Oh, that's a yeeting. The rookie corner in a pretty good spot, and I think Stearns also got a piece of that. So Booker over top on him with Stearns just popping him in the side. Of course, had a couple of first-round picks. Pretty good draft in general. So far, I mean, so good. I mean, on paper, those guys look great. On field so far, we're looking really good. So 3rd and 17, chance to get off the field. See that offense, as we were speaking of, underneath. Not a bad look to almost kind of get in field goal range, but that should be a punt. I mean, this could be a legit field goal attempt. There is a bit of wind, but I can't imagine this is a good decision. So we're going to put our punt return unit there. I mean, have a little bit of fun, I guess, but that's actually not terrible. Wow. What would that have been? Would that have been 65? My math is like I'm 65, to be honest. But all right, offense, like I said, not looking too different at the moment. But it is early. Sky Moore, I mean, you got to just take that. The rookie should have no fears. And that's close. 2nd and 10 from the 45-yard line. And we should have taken that right away. And I will say, my man's Gamble has a little bit of a weird release. That is something that he absolutely is going to need to work on. But that may take some time. Could take several weeks. Could take the whole year even. So that's a little worrisome. But, you know, he's still getting the ball there, I guess. And here he goes, utilizing those legs. But yeah, that's a very fast man on the edge there. I'd imagine that was Danielle Hunter. Not a lot of quarterbacks are able to get away from him. Not a lot. You can see Woodley with the 2 tight ends set coming into the game. And that's a pretty good route for Woodley, who may score, and he will not. Down to the 1, actually, but like we said, I mean, it may not take long for Woodley to shine, as he already does on his first attempt. First and goal from the 1. Hawkins going to try to run it in there, and he will. Touchdown, Nighthawks. That was a pretty quick and easy drive. Once again, like we said, good or bad, the preseason doesn't matter a whole lot, but I suppose it's better to do well in preseason than it is to suck. As underneath, he's gonna trying to hit the tight end. Is that Woods? That's a big tight end. It looked like a damn lineman. It's kind of crazy. I will say, speaking of big guys, that Woodley's a huge guy for his athleticism. Got to give it to him. And Carmichael gets picked up. Najee Harris slipping off at the first down. Carmichael almost just made an amazing one-on-one play, but kind of was a 1-on-2 as he had to go against the lineman first. But I will have to say, I mean, this defense kind of looking set in stone. Maybe seeing the the primary focus being offense, which, I mean, even then they looked great too. So it's really just, I mean, there's not a whole lot of starting spots to find on this team, which is kind of crazy to think, but still, I mean, I think we're looking pretty good. Tyndall is going to read the play and just crush the quarterback. Tannehill not having a good time. And we're going to be bringing the safety blitz off the edge. We're going to drop Stearns back, kind of make it seem like we're going to come with the dual safety blitz. Good little tackle there by Scott, I believe. Mixing it up pretty well here. The lineups have been pretty solid as well, and I mean, we're looking pretty good. As going to find a late read over to the right side, but in good enough coverage, and they lose another player, Brian Bulaga, who's had injury issues his whole career, obviously nearing the end of it. Going to go with the play action look, and there goes Mr. Tutu Atwell, a guy who had a really good year last season. Going to gain about 15. And right back to the other side, it looks like Harrison Smith as the contain man. I don't think he has even nearly enough speed to keep up with Tutu Atwell, and he just doesn't. As Tutu is going to find a lot of room, and this could be a 61-yard touchdown. It's not. Spins the wrong way, but avoids the hit, which once again was the primary concern coming into preseason. But I got to say, we are looking pretty elite right now. And once again, is that Harrison Smith? I don't think that's a good idea. It's actually a pretty good idea, and because of the predetermined on the left side, Gamble's going to lose 13 on the sack. Gaines is back and healthy. I'm super stoked about that. Yeah, good. Healthy players. We love it. 2nd and 23, play action look. And that is a little bit of a bump on their own 2 receivers. I will say it's still probably a little overthrown, but probably obtainable if not for the bump. We might just take a shot to Claypool here. We'll see what we like. Maybe could have. That's a tough throw, and that is just a bad decision. It's going to be intercepted. Good tackle attempt, though, by the youngster Long. Kind of grabs his leg and just changes his whole direction. All right, in the second quarter, seeing a couple of the backup names in there right now, which is all right, but Gamble will stay out there, as they're going to just completely leave Darden underneath wide open. If Tutu Atwell is hurt, that is the man that's going to be replacing him. What is that? That's kind of rude. Especially since you really didn't make the stop. At least made the stop, I'll allow the rudeness, but you didn't. As our line just completely sold. Barch coming in there as a backup, just not doing well. Obviously, we are using backup linemen now as well for some of the positions, so we kind of do expect a lesser product, but still, we expect all these guys to be starting caliber. And once again, Ty Chandler trying to make a play, cannot do it. Darden on the comeback. You do have Ferguson on that deep look, which would be a lot to ask for. And the tight end gets open. I believe that's actually the play that we got intercepted on last season by Stephon Gilmore. He jumped down on that underneath. Interception by the defense is going to lead us to have the ball at the 9-yard line. Looking at that comeback route, they're kind of all over that. Gamble trying to get out of there, cannot in time, and he will take another sack. Sacked a few times in this game. Darden off that edge. On the boundary side, could get the one-on-one look. And there is, once again, more pressure. trying to step up into the pocket and not really looking great. All right, another drive where they just do nothing with the ball. We're going to have the ball at the 45-yard line. Play action look, and is that Ferguson, the youngster, wide open? Slips it to the 31. Not a bad little look. A guy that also, kind of on the lower end of the roster right now, but could find himself moving up as well. We go with this out route, see that route running if we can. Once again, that's going to be kind of where you're expecting him to struggle a little bit, as he will get it, and he will hold on. I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot of separation there. Pretty good jump by the safety, I believe it actually was. We'll say I wish the lineup was a little bit different, where you'd actually have the big guy in this, not in the slot, but... Oh, nice route, actually. Ferguson, that was a beauty of a route. Spins off to the 10. I mean, he crushed it right at the point of attack. That was beautiful. You have the look from Woodley, and Ferguson off the pre-snap looks pretty good over there. And that is a beautiful route. Absolutely torches them. And are we seeing a star emerge right before our eyes? I mean, the 6'4", 234-pound giant. And he's looking pretty crispy on those routes. Of course, we had a couple of other guys looking pretty open, but I mean, that was the pre-snap all the way, and they just got torched. Gotta say, Nighthawks football looking pretty promising out here. And that is going to be a screen attempt, trying to knock it down with Osai, and wasn't the worst look in the world. Of course, we still have Maddox out there. Got Browning on the D-line. We don't really have that much depth, but trying to see what anyone can do. Tyndall's out there still, but just seeing what kind of value some guys can play, even if we don't have a spot for him. Huge hit by Nisraldine. Oh my. Of course, he will still hold on, and they will still continue to hurry up, as Rosen is actually going to run. I thought maybe he would have just taken the shot against Cisco there, but pretty good coverage. Got to give it to him. Once again, you got guys like Scott playing the boundary corner. And nice little throw to the outside. Speaking of that boundary corner spot, Cisco is technically supposed to be there, but if there's no one behind you and you're playing that deep blue, you kind of need to react and just play the underneath. He's in trouble. Maddox, the rookie, coming away with a coverage sack. It's always fun no matter how you get it. No matter how you get the sack. Sacks are always fun. Wade coming in, almost pretty much untouched. And Wilson's going to take down Woods, who's just a physical freak. Wade backing up. The running back's pretty open. We've got everything covered well. Melifonwu in pretty good coverage himself. And that probably will be a field goal attempt. No, the wind must be really bad on this side, because they attempted a crazy one earlier, but now they're like, nah, we can't do that. That's a punt. And this is like, I mean, why would you even punt it? Although, no, it wasn't. I thought that was at the 1. That was a good try, though. Bidet, the guy that hops from special teams to special teams, getting a chance to return it, and looking okay there. Didn't really get a whole lot of yards, but found the angle that was there. Kellen Mond, last year's starting quarterback, is now officially in. And is that Ferguson again? It is. It's a really good throw, too. And guess what? Ferguson, as usual, slipping off the first tackler. I just got to admit, I mean, Ferguson right now looks like a veteran playing against rookies. That's all I can really say. He's just killing it. Outside, you have Nwangwu. Very fast. Just like the number change is going to be very fast as soon as we get a chance. Got the option play with Mon, but not with Gamble. It's like we don't want to take a gamble with him. You like that? Mon with a nice spin move, showing some heart there. Gaining 4. Got the smoke kind of play with Ferguson. Maybe he gets it, maybe he doesn't. They actually ran that pretty well. Try to throw it low. Couldn't get it in there. Of course, 4th and 3, we will be attempting this. By attempting this, of course, I mean attempting to go for it, obviously. Don't really like the throw look here, though. They're just going to hand it off to Wangwu, who's going to find a nice little gainer, about 11. Has a chance to be our Swiss Army knife this season, being the special teams guy, the potential running back at times. And that is a little risky. Threw it late, and he's going to fumble the ball. Ty Chandler fumbling there. Kellen Mond, of course, in pursuit. Going to take him down pretty easily, actually. But I mean, didn't feel like he was ever down, right? They aren't going to booth review this, but this felt weird. Maybe the progress was stopped, but as far as him being actually down, though, I mean, he loses the ball on top of another player. I mean, it's simply put, that's their ball. All right, that is pretty much going to end the first game. Obviously, Kellen Mond not really getting a whole lot of chances to start with the starting guys, maybe a few starters here and there, but a massive shutout, blowout, whatever you want to call it, 44-0. I mean, that is just absolutely nuts. Like, that is just a crazy game, and I can't imagine that it'll ever happen in a regular season game, but we'll still cherish that moment anytime we can, as we actually weren't the most pressured team of the two for once. Of course, we had a better completion percentage as well. That's just, I mean, all things we just do not expect to see. But, of course, Gamble, not the worst showing, not the best showing, but definitely showed more in a positive light than he did in a negative light. Of course, Kellen Mond playing against and with the backups, looking pretty good. Josh Rosen with 3 interceptions. That's brutal. Rushing, didn't really see much from any of the teams, to be honest. Receiving, Ferguson, 10 for 136, 3 touchdowns. I mean, we've got some new names here that are definitely looking to make their names. But speaking of, Browning, as a pass rusher, 3 sacks. I'm just saying, you just never know what you got until you try it any chance you get. And, of course, Tucker, perfect kicking, as you would expect. Here it is, week 2. Of course, the Browns losing their first game. We are playing in Cleveland in First Energy Stadium. Of course, returning from injury, I believe, is a guy that we're actually going to be releasing. So you probably shouldn't have returned from injury because you're a backup linebacker that just doesn't have a chance, sir. And that is John Radigan. Of course, we do have to release players here and there. We kind of had a little bit of a head start, though, so we're not really too worried about releasing anyone just yet. But after week 3, we will be doing that. All right, slot upgrade for Mr. Tutu Atwell, 72 overall now. Really needs some release upgrades. That's his biggest issue. Catching's not that bad, to be honest. Deep routes, decent. Medium and short and great, but it's good enough. But release, just so low. I don't know if he's ever going to get that up, to be honest, but still a really good player. Togiai, I mean, I suppose if he's going to get on the field again, it's going to be through pass rushing. So, he needs a lot of work. Jordan Davis, speaking of pass rushing, the man that kind of is required to do it all. Of course, loses the scheme fit, but maybe that's a good thing as he has a chance. 2 power move. That's a huge upgrade. So now 85 power move, 85 block shedding. That's really good. And then Jedrick Wills. I suppose we need him just to be a pure pass blocker. So, gonna up. Wow, what an upgrade. That is a beautiful upgrade. Love that. So bad. And first play from the line of scrimmage is going to be an 11-yard gain for Zach Moss, of course. I don't know if we have injuries or what's the story, but we are moving players around a little bit. As you can see, Kane-Doe and Osai are the starting edges for this game. The 2 interior DTs are still, the same thing, as you would expect, as Tyndall, I think, gets burned on this one. Tim Patrick, built like a tight end, speedily like a wide receiver. I'm not saying that that's Ferguson's floor, but definitely at minimum might be a Tim Patrick, as, the way he's looking at least. Obviously, it's a little early to be throwing those names out there, and that's a really good job by Tyndall. I know Filer feels like he won that, but Tyndall getting low, getting the lineman down on the ground is technically a win when you look at the size comparison, so and we'll take that small win. 2nd and 8, and that's a quick throw as we've got people just running far. Tyndall with a really good play. He's nowhere near that play. Gets the hit stick on him. Is that CD Lamb, perhaps? But, yeah, our guys are just backing up, expecting the deep play, but, you got to just stop what's out in front of you, and that's a good try by Woolen, ain't going to lie, but, once again, that's a really well-timed ball. Cincinnati couldn't score a single point the whole game, and you have Cleveland here looking like they might score one on the very first drive, as Stearns is going to get a nice hit on the running back there. It is CD Lamb, I believe. Looks like him. Maddox not really doing a whole lot there. Woolen coming up big, but it's going to be another first down. Obviously not having that edge, the starting edge, is hurting us quite a bit here. As Tyndall's going to try to blow up the inside. We bring the blitz. Doesn't really work, and basically just going to throw that through the back of the end zone as a throwaway. Mac Jones' first incompletion, if you will. Got to say if you will, because, just kind of got locked up rather than just, missing a throw. Jabril dropping back. Really good job by Tyndall, who is the enforcer here right now, and it's still going to be a gain of 6, but it's obviously a really tough job, as that's not really even his, I mean, it's his coverage, but, you know, it's a tough job in general. Stearns, and he's going to hold on for the touchdown. Like we said, no points allowed the first preseason game, and this one, points allowed on the first drive. Kellen Mond getting the start this week. So is Woolen and Ferguson. Trying to test these guys out. I believe that is Jalen Ramsey as well. Not really seeing a whole lot, and Kellen Mond's going to throw this away. Got Jalen Ramsey playing in the slot, which is actually really devastating because he's able to cover more ground, it seems, by doing that. And that is a pretty good play by Bobby Wagner, who absolutely baited that out. How did he do that? I mean, that is absolutely nuts. Look at Bobby. I know he looks back, but, like, really? That's insane. They only get 3 points, but, geez. I mean, how unlucky is Kellen Mond? He's just the unluckiest alive. I really think so. And we throw it right in behind Bobby Wagner to Cole Turner. Had Woodley as well. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously you want to be the starting player because, let's be honest, if you're not the starting tight end, you're not going to have a great season, but you're still going to get involved. You're still going to get involved, as you can see there. The number 2 technically was the number 1 there, as he got a huge play. Woodley, and there goes Turner again. Was looking for Woodley, didn't really have it. Turner's going to gain about 8. But I will say the team does just look less explosive when Mond is out there. It's not really his fault per se, but really good freaking job by Dustin there. But it just seems that way, doesn't it? Like, it's just, I don't know. 3rd and 3, though, from the 48-yard line. Oh, wow, we had somebody running the wrong route there. Thank God Hawkins didn't, as it was supposed to be, oh no, it wasn't. It was supposed to be a drag route, but we didn't get the communication, and so Ferguson was running the wrong route, but technically to him it wasn't, because he didn't get the call. The call didn't come in for him. And there goes Hawkins with an amazing spin move, turning that into 6 just about, when it could have been nothing. Of course, they're still in the zone. And there goes Woodley, but it's a very bad throw. Probably the worst throw we've seen so far in preseason. Very early, though, so give these quarterbacks a chance. Curl route to the big man. Not going to see it. This should be easy. Oh, Claypool, good catch. They got it inside on that that rush really, like, suddenly. Like, it wasn't a quick rush, but as soon as he got a push, he just burst through there instantly. Looking for potentially the big play. Ferguson kind of has the look. Drops it. Good job by Ramsey to knock that out, but one-on-one Ferguson. Not terrible, of course. Looking at the rookies, a pretty damn good group. Hawkins getting the lead block in there. Once again, Ferguson, the number 1 wide receiver for today. Doesn't really mean a whole lot going forward, but Hawkins turns that into about 9.5. Ferguson looking at the left side, trying to look at all the players we can while the play is happening, and he looked like he got a pretty good block against his guys, so that's really all you can ask for. 3rd and inches, try to fake him out, and we're still going to hike it anyways, and it's barely going to be a good decision, but we get the first. Definitely a lot tougher this week. There's no question about it. This week is looking much tougher. Kind of predetermining that. Maybe have the tight end, but Kellen Mond's going to turn that into about 8. We'll say, though, Kellen Mond's a tough runner. One thing you can't deny is that he's a tough runner. Play action here from the goal line is not maybe the best look. Can we run the right routes, please? Potentially Woodley. And that is a pretty good look, and Claypool drops it wide open again. This guy is something else. Not really seeing anyone open here, and that's going to be a fumble. Of course, Chandler's going to try to make a play out of it. Not really going to get anything, and it turns in from a 7-point, play, 7-point drive to potentially 3. Scott trying to get across the field, couldn't get there in time. Tyson Anderson a bit slow to the punch. Once again, he's super fast. They made it pretty obvious they were going to run it, and as soon as they hiked it, Anderson was still kind of like confused almost. Tyndall drop back. Pretty good coverage so far. No pass rush, though, and that's a fumble. That's a pretty good jump ball, really. Jordan Davis was like, I'm a big man, too. I'll try to get that, of course, Njoku all over that one, but 3rd and 13, and it's the preseason, so I feel like you try to, do something maybe you wouldn't technically do normally. So we're going to come with the all-out here. And Anderson and company is going to get that ball off, and that's just an amazing catch. Not much Scott can do there. It's already a mismatch pre-play. A little bit of taunting there by throwing the ball right on him, but we didn't really get through the lane either that we wanted when we were pass rushing, so kind of on the D-line. Jordan Davis crushing it. Jordan Davis, 2nd preseason sack so far. That's a big boy. Definitely will help the rookie Maddox when trying to learn the ropes when you got that big man there. Had himself a decent year 1. Drake Jackson getting handled by the superstar tackle there, and Woolen handling Zach Moss, which once again, Woolen's a big guy, but Zach Moss is a powerful man. So it's once again a very impressive play. Love it. Anderson going to try to get the press on Njoku. Does an okay job. Oh, there is nobody on him, though. Wow. Woolen one-on-one misses the tackle. And we were just kind of praising him for being able to take on a tough, strong man, but Njoku is another specimen, apparently. All right, Nwangwu on the return again. Getting himself another chance. As, I mean, it's really his job to lose. As long as nobody, makes a crazy play or he makes a huge mistake as he almost just found a lane, it's basically his job. That's kind of the whole reason he was signed in the first place. Kellen Mond has had an okay start, just had a couple of drops. And that is a really bad throw. I know he's crossbody, but I mean, we threw it a little late, but we saw that, it might have carried him out of bounds. So we're just going to wait, play it safe, and just throw it on the, a little bit of a late play, but it still would have worked. And Ferguson, nice little catch there for 20. Claypool was like, that's mine. That's what I do. I do the comeback. It's like, maybe you don't. Maybe your one use that we had for you is now someone else's job. Look what you've done. Woodley over the middle. And we're going to go to the running back. And that's a terrible throw by Kellen Mond. It's going to be picked off by Bobby, who has been, all over the field. I don't know why he's even in. He's still clearly got it. It's a little bit of a late read, but that ball does not need to be thrown like that. That's so bad. What is that? All right, in a bit of a bad situation here. Gamble came in the game just to get him some snaps because he's going to be playing a lot as the starter next week. 3rd and goal, down by 13. Chance to win it, and Fiocco is wide open. A guy that we kind of maybe forgot about as well, but I think at this point might be past his chance, past his prime. And with dancing like that, you're not making many arguments. Of course, there's obviously, there's an option to not go for the onside, but it's preseason as well. Try to get the onside game getting better. That one really didn't go anywhere. Huge pop, though. Oh, my. Cisco not freaking messing around. CeeDee Lamb a little wobbly after that one, and I don't know if you can really blame him. Of course, I think the wind is against them right here, so, it's going to take a lot to get into field goal range. So, a chance, believe it or not, to actually come away with the victory here. I think run pass is maybe not the best option for them here, but might be exactly what they're going for. We have a lot of backups in. Stern's kind of playing inside linebacker all over the screen and had a chance at the pick there as this Rodgers quarterback guy not looking so great. They're going to let us keep a timeout on top of it. See if their punter can pin us. And doesn't look that great from the first read. It's not to the 20. Yikes. All right. 80 yards, 1 timeout, 1:06 to work with. Screen pass, maybe not the best call in the world, but now Nwangwu is that kind of speed. Number 95 maybe should have let us catch that. He would have had himself a really good play. If he would have tackled us, it would have been short. We would have been scrambling for a play as well, but instead he knocks it down, gives us more time to think. And that is a tough throw, and wow, just perfect coverage. Wasn't really an open look, to be honest. 3rd and 10, struggling. We pump faked. We went to the tight end because we've seen this play so many times. That play, the guy ends up jumping down on the running back. And, of course, the one time we actually read it, he sticks at the freaking tight end. And they're not even going to give us a chance to throw this. The windup on top doesn't help. But, wow, that is pretty lackluster finish there, ain't going to lie. We lose the game 26-20. Obviously, a bit different of an outcome. Week 1, 44-0 for preseason. And in the second game, I mean, just absolutely a different one as they were able to score at will. And, you know, they pulled their starters pretty early, so can't really use that excuse. Compared to last game, pretty much the opposite. Of course, still kept up with them yards-wise, but the completion percentage and the score, obviously a little bit different than last time, but still an okay showing. Once again, we're mixing in a lot of players that just won't be mixed in and out of the lineup once the regular season comes. So we're seeing a lot of what we like. Of course, Mon, not a great game at all. A couple interceptions. Bobby Wagner coming up clutch with that one. The first one you can't blame. That's just an insane play by him. But running a little bit better this week. Receiving, did not see the name Ferguson this week, but didn't really see the name of anyone, to be honest. Fiocco came away with a touchdown, but really nothing to show for. Kyle Van Noy playing pure edge for them as well. Kind of strange, but you know, he didn't start the normal edge starters either. So, I mean, it's just you're going to see a different product in preseason than the regular season. So, it is what it is. As we see Tariq Woolen with an upgrade. Obviously, a great man-to-man corner. So, we're going to be going with zone coverage here to try and boost that part of his game as well, which not going to really see much of it there. Now time to play against Denver. Of course, no camp breakout, which is super annoying. Here it is, the final preseason game. Some players' dreams are going to be dashed. Some of them are going to become true, as we have 7 spots that we do need to remove. And I will say a couple players coming in may already be doomed no matter what happens, but some players definitely fighting for a spot still. Some fighting to move up higher on the depth chart, let alone make the depth chart. So, obviously those 2 quarterbacks, I mean, it's really Gamble's job to lose. It's pretty much impossible for Mon to take the job from him at this point. Really hasn't outplayed him. Pretty much showing that same kind of adequate style that he's had. Gamble's, you know, had some tough throws in the pocket that he's made, and of course, just has the higher ceiling. All right, let's see a defensive series. Brian Burns is playing. Osai on the other side is starting for Drake Jackson as Jordan Davis causing problems early on. The tight end, though, George Kittle turning that into a huge 31-yard gainer. I mean, that's a quick play. We obviously know Joe Burrow, great against pressure. Comes away with an insane play on the first throw, despite having all that pressure, and we're going to bring him again. We cover that perfectly. That's going to be a coverage sack for Brian Burns. Welcome back as the starter. You know, it's not really a whole lot of points to start him throughout preseason, so, you know, starting him here just so he doesn't get rusty. That's an okay containment by Osai. Didn't quite bring him down, but he slowed him down. 3rd and 19 now. Come with the press with Scott, and we're trying to cover over the middle, and that's not our job, but Scott with an amazing play. Scott's in the purple coverage on the outside. There's no linebackers where they're supposed to be, and Odell gets taken down short of the first down, which could also cause them to miss the field goal, which it will not. Wow, that was very misleading. Amazing, actually. Really good kick. McManus always doing that. Always looking like he's going to miss. Usually does. Not today, though. Surprised. Langway on the return. Going to take that chance and turn it into a decent little gainer considering, I mean, really just showing off that speed. Darius Smith off the edge on the read option, and he doesn't see it. Gamble, who's got some legs on him. Nice spin move, slides on Kyle Hamilton. A gain of 21, not bad. Coming back with the same look, might be looking for Woodley on the quick throw, though. Maybe he did have him. And that's a really tough throw. No way he makes that. He does. 2-2 to the 36. That was a beauty. Gamble was just waiting to show it off. Oh my, that's a beautiful play. Play action look, really good protection underneath to Woodley. Of course, the safety or the corner seeing that coming. A little surprised because he did have Cole Turner coming right after him there, so maybe even had a chance to still just throw it to Cole. But 2nd and 4, I mean, pre-snap Ferguson's looking great. And not that great, but enough to get it there to the 15. Once again, pressure all over him and drops it right on the money. And is that Uche, the pass rusher? What the hell's going on here? Ferguson, that deep end's looking pretty nice too, speaking of. And we're going to throw that underneath. Tutu Atwell, wow, what a freaking reach. That's a very small man coming out with a very tough catch. I mean, that was pretty much full extension. That ball was a little out there. Played a little too safe maybe. 2nd and 1, inside run. Hawkins kind of getting locked up there, but enough for the first because there's only 1 yard needed. And here with the heavy formation, this could be a play action score to Turner. 1st and goal from the 5. Play action. And it's not going to be, it's Gamble who's going to just celebrate in there for his first rushing touchdown of his career. Of course, it's going to be preseason, so it doesn't technically count, but it's still more than we'll ever see. Nice little run, obviously. They fell for it a little bit, and they just didn't want to get beat by the receivers, but forgot about the speed of Gamble. You know, didn't really utilize his legs too much in preseason. You know, didn't even run a single read option play before this game, and now we're kind of coming out and showing it a little bit. Tyson Anderson going to try to drop back. That's not terrible coverage, and it's even better containment. Of course, we're going to be seeing this chart for a long time as, you know, this is one of those crazy classes you look back at when you think of, you know, potential great team where they started, and you're thinking, you know, this is one of those drafts that helped them get there. As Jordan Davison trying to make a play. Jabril, not the best coverage, not the worst. We're going to gain 7. You know, whether there's worries about the defense or not, the point of the matter is the starters are pretty much set in stone, so not really a whole lot to see, but we want to just see a little bit more snaps. You see Drake Jackson in. Jordan Davis kind of gets locked up. The youngster Carmichael getting kind of stood up a little bit, but gets the help of his teammates, and he's only going to gain 3 on the run. Stearns coming up, but not going to be actually rushing. And we had too many underneaths to cover. George Kittle, though, is probably the one you want to prioritize the most. Tyson Anderson coming up a little bit just in case the run happens. And it will be a run. That's a really good cutback, though. Missing with Tyndall, falling forward on Woolen for a gain of about 8 is Goodson. That was an amazing cutback. He was about to run right into a freaking wall with Anderson coming up, but he cut it back and just made us look silly as we get trucked over. But nice little teamwork tackle for a stop of 5, gain of 5. What do you want to call it? Kind of an L is what I would call it. 1st and 10 for the 42. Burrow not really showing a lot here, and maybe they're trying to develop their run game. I mean, they do seem like they have pretty good... Oh my, what a stiff arm. They do have pretty good passing attack when they need to use it. So, you know, I mean, I suppose learn what you got to learn. Don't know what that even means, but they're trying to see what they can work with, I guess. Got the tight end in motion. Stearns going to try to run up there, but once again, they're getting really good push up the middle, gaining 7. Yeah, I mean, we are kind of a better coverage team than we are defensive line-wise, and I thought that was going to be play action. Finally coming away with the stop, but we did at the blitz to do it. Their lineman Edwards is now hurt. I mean, that's the one good positive thing is we haven't really seen too many injuries. We've seen a couple of practice injuries, but nothing major yet, thankfully. I don't know why I said yet. It's like I'm asking for it. But a nice tackle there with Scott and Stearns, and there's another injured player. The tight end now, I believe. Jeez. Get your conditioning coach to step it up. 3rd and 7 from the edge. Osai trying to use that speed rush. Burns getting there, and they're going to throw this kind of out of bounds. 6 for 66. We knew Burrow sold his soul to the devil. We knew it. Melifonwu on the block, even though we probably would rather have Wade there as he's shown some pretty impressive things in the first year as the gunner, if you will. And that, I mean, screw it. Why not? Almost caught. That was a close ball. That was a nice little 50-50. He was on the money, but, you know, maybe as we threw it, it looked a little bit more open than he actually was. And they're trying to get us to run it here. I mean, I guess we'll see what we can find. And it looked pretty good at the snap, but it closed up very quickly, which you kind of expect when you look at the formation they were kind of holding. Of course, Ferguson going up against an X factor, and there is nobody on the running back, and he holds on. Nice play. That was a tough throw as Gamble once again getting pummeled right out the gate. You're going to learn very quickly being the starting quarterback of the Nighthawks means probably a lot of ice packs throughout the season. Just going to be honest. It's not the most prestigious of jobs. We're going to throw to the running back again, and Hawkins going to turn this into about a 15-yard gain. 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line, potentially looking for the deep shot. Going to go to the tight end. A little underthrown, but Woodley gets it. Gain of 13. I mean, this offensive line is absolutely struggling right now. 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Chandler, let's test out that blocking for him again. And that is, once again, insanely fast coverage. Not even the worst throw, to be honest. Of course, they do bring the 6-man, so you can't really blame it, but, you know, we're getting crushed. Right tackle just dies. Of course, it is Walker, so, I mean, it is what it is, but, man, these blocks, haven't been great. I'll put it that way. They've been a little iffy. And we will end up taking Ferguson there, who gets a nice little play, tries the cut move, but it's pretty much impossible. Greg Newsome with a decent tackle, but he kind of gets beat. Obviously, did get bumped by his own guy, but, you know, still technically a beat. They got 2 on Ferguson now. We're going to go to the tight end, who's going to get just enough time to turn it upfield for 5. But yeah, like I said, I think we've seen enough from the players we want to see. I mean, it just seems, you know, preseason, we kind of knew what was going to happen. And we maybe had the tight end. That's good patience. Claypool with the tough catch. Holds on. Touchdown. Newsome in great coverage there, but sometimes you just outsized. And for him to be as big as he is, it's not a common thing. We really need the run game to develop this season because, man, our play action is absolutely what saves us game in and game out. Tyndall not really going to get a great play. Move up, Woolen. Come on. I mean, you got the help as well, so you can kind of get reckless there if you want. You got the linebacker coming in there. Even if he cuts back inside, the linebacker's all over it. I mean, he doesn't really have anyone. Woolen in coverage gets mossed. By who is that? It looks like a smaller guy to me. Might have been N'Keal Harry, actually. It just looks so small compared to him. There's no way that's N'Keal. It's got to be a different guy named Harry. And he has him, but he doesn't see it because of the pressure. Brian Burns. Of course, help from Drake Jackson, but it's Brian Burns that kind of gets in his face, causing him to tuck it rather than throw it. There, even though he's great against pressure, a little bit too much pressure that time. Tyndall forcing the way out and actually filtrates through the block and gets him anyways. Thought it was going to be more of him helping rather than him making the play, but no, he did it. Good job. Ooh, deep over the middle, I thought. You know, I'm okay with that. I guess I'm not. Wow, what a blown play. That is an awful, awful job on defense. Hayden Hurst, of course, a veteran player in this league, but how do 3 players not get him when there was still 5 yards to go? This is absurd. This is bad defense. You have 3 players, of course, kind of not. 2 players, and they just miss. You got one going low, one going high, and he just slips over. Looking for the throw, not going to see it. Trying to throw it away, can't. Wow, that's a huge, huge loss. Zadarius, I mean, once again, he's coming at us, and we're trying to run away, so he does have the lead up, but, I mean, Gamble, I thought, would have been way faster than that. The tight end Woodley is just burning on his route runs as well. It's a huge gain back, 20 yards. And I got to be honest with you, Claypool he really ain't that guy. He can't win those routes. And I don't know what even happened, but we got the ball back very quickly. Kyle Hamilton, is he going to miss it? He does. I don't know what they're doing there. A little bit of an inside throw, but gets it there. Claypool touchdown. I'm not sure what they're doing. All right, so it's probably only fair that we still give Mond a chance. We skipped up ahead a little bit, and we're now up 28-18. And Mond, nice little throw to Atwell. Not the toughest throw, but stood tough as he saw the right tackle kind of get beat. Made the play, and first down. Play action from the 33-yard line, looking for that tight end, Cole Turner. Really good route run, and another wide open miss by Kellen Mond. I mean, it just seems like Kellen Mond and Claypool are just meant for each other. They need to go to a new team and just suck together, which, I mean, for a different story. Of course, on the run, didn't really want to be. Yeboah kind of gets thrown violently. Zedarius in coverage. I mean, for as slow as he is, it's pretty impressive play. Tutu Atwell on the little wiggle. Try to actually get some time to throw, maybe with Chandler blocking, even though it's just not really worked out. Tutu Atwell. It's a tough one. You got Kyle Hamilton. Nice little move. Gains 2 extra. That Kyle Hamilton fella, I tell you, pretty big fella. Pretty big fella indeed. And they're just going to leave the underneaths open. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Tutu Atwell with a slip away. Cuts inside, can't do it. Spins away to the 34. Going to go with the out routes, which I just don't trust anyone running, but we do have the insides that I do like. That's really good coverage by them. And Claypool comes up with the jump ball. That's what I want to see. You know, maybe the read's wrong and, you know, the ball's up there. I want you to go up and get it for us. At least knock it down. Do something. Inside 2nd and 2. Gonna try to spin, can't do it, but slips off anyways. Kind of got his own spin, not the one we were looking for, but did enough, I suppose. Play action look. Ferguson going against a superstar again. Hasn't really stopped us so far. Once again, that's a burn and a half to the 5-yard line. Newsome getting torched on that comeback. Of course, he hasn't actually faced it. His teammates have faced it more than anyone, but let's see it. Cole Turner, that's a really good play by them as Deshaun Hand is going to be injured now for them. That was a really good read, I felt. Don't know how that guy saw that in there. I mean, that's just really good coverage. I mean, considering he has to cover, if he doesn't cover Woodley here, it's a touchdown, right? Because number 25 pulls away. I mean, that's just a dot of a throw, but just a better defensive play. Second and goal from the 5-yard line now. Hawkins going to get a chance to try to get that in there. Tries to spin, but not this time. Kyle Hamilton's been beat one too many times this game. He finally gets his revenge. Going to go with the play action here. The slide from the 4. It's a lot to ask for from the offensive lineman. And that is a wide open group of players. Of course, Claypool's probably really pissed because he was open too. But Woodley was a little bit easier of a throw, I felt, because we were moving. You don't want to be throwing to a stationary target while you're moving. It's a lot easier to miss that than it is, someone that's actually moving. As long as it's not underthrown, they should have a chance to recover on it as well. I mean, not a bad showing from Mond, a solid showing from Gamble. I think it's just easy to argue that Gamble, once again, has the higher ceiling. He also played better in general. There's really no arguing about that. He is faster. I mean, he just has Mond beat by a sliver in a lot of things. Mond was just missing too many of those open throws on top of it. And I will say Mond seemed a little bit better under pressure. He was able to get the ball out, throw it away, whereas Gamble took a little bit more sacks, maybe using his name a little bit too much, gambling on the play. But overall, you just got to like the quarterback room as being a solid enough room. If someone were to get injured, you feel all right about your chances to continue the season. And yeah, I mean, those two guys are just going to be the number 1 and number 2 for the season. And, if Gamble struggles, he's still a rookie, could easily be benched. I don't think anyone's feelings would be hurt. Gamble, of course, solid performance. Not a bad one from Mond either. Burrow threw a pick, which is impressive for our defense. Rushing, though, I mean, Gamble had himself a couple of plays with 2 touchdowns, but running in general was not good. And that was the one thing we really wanted to see something good of in preseason. It just wasn't. As Ferguson, 5 for 123 with 0 touchdowns, but still a great game. Same with Atwell, and Woodley had a decent game. And unfortunately for Turner, he's just going to be the number 2 now. I mean, he had a really good year 1, but when you find a guy like Woodley and he just shows up in preseason and practice, it's just tough to not start him. He just looks so good. Booker with a pick. I don't remember even seeing that. Must have been one of the sims, but there it is. Preseason for Season 2, and there was a lot to like, but you really, really wanted to see more from that ground game. But we are now at the point where we are in the unfortunate spot of cutting 7 players. Now, I really want a power back. Not that I really like Kylan Hill, but he is technically the only power back on the team. So McCrary is going to be moved to the practice squad. We're going to have some of these wide receivers losing their job as well as Young. I mean, there's just no chance. I'm sorry. Go to the practice squad if you want, but there's no chance. Jalen Naylor, if we can get him on the practice squad, that'd be great too. What else do we have? Tight ends. Jacob Harris is fast. but he really just doesn't show a lot for us. I mean, there's really not a whole lot you can work with. We need no more than 3 tight ends, so yeah, I mean, just going to rock with that. O-line, I think we have all the backups we need. Kando played a little bit, but he's not a great player, I'm going to be honest. So we're going to be releasing him straight up. Sorry, Kando. He's like, but everyone's going to the practice squad. Send me to the practice squad. I'll take the checks. Like, yeah, I know, I would too, but not today, buddy. And I think we probably have at least another player. McDuffie is in a very unfortunate spot of being on a team with so many linebackers. But we have cut down the team to 53. A lot of wide receivers were a part of that. So we did kind of, like I said, had a pretty good idea of who was going to be here as a starter and who was going to be in the practice squad or release. But yeah, we have our week 1 opponent being the Saints. Of course, a little bit better of a starting lineup for our season as we get a home, away, and then 2 homes to start her out. But the Saints, a team that I believe was in the Super Bowl. Not a team I was looking forward to facing week 1, but I suppose we got to welcome the challenge. And yeah, you guys will know the starting roster. You guys probably already know the starting roster in general, but yeah, not a bad preseason showing. Let me know what you guys thought. If there was somebody that caught your eye more than, someone else that I didn't see, probably would be a defender more than anyone. But I think we have our starting lineup. I think everything's about as good as it's going to get. Just really worried about the ground game, but it also does start with that offensive line, which was super sus at times. We did have, some of the veterans playing, where some of the rookies were coming in and out of the lineup, just, trying to keep them fresh, try to, put them in the best situation possible so they don't lose their confidence. But that's pretty much going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. If you did, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Hopefully it's not too long of a video, as there was a lot of gameplay in there. And, yeah, you follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel, PK Plays. Twitch.tv/Jeromepkr for streams. I mean, if I was going to stream, if I can, it would be this series most likely. So, maybe follow there. I don't know when, and I'll get this graphics card issue fixed. I still don't think I need a new graphics card, and that's probably just my wallet speaking, because I really don't want to pay for one. Because if I'm going to buy a new graphics card, I'm going to end up buying more than just a graphics card, right? I'm going to want a very good one, and then it's going to be like, oh, well, your processor's not good enough for this graphics card, and then it's like, oh, well, I might as well buy a new PC, several grand, that's going to be fun. I don't know, dude, we'll settle it at some point, I imagine. But anyways, either way, should be a rebuild tomorrow, maybe a second channel video on Friday, and then probably week 1 of Nighthawks on Saturday. Maybe a Dolphins franchise. I mean, we haven't really played many games in there. It's been actually like 2 weeks almost, so hopefully you can find an opponent that's willing to play and at least finish the playoffs off, Get to the playoffs, finish them, whether we lose the first game or we win it all the way again. I don't know. I just want to have a decent send-off, and that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!